So our examples used Modernizer. So if you go to the Modernizer website, modernizer.com, you can see what it looks like and what this Modernizer has to offer. So their website says respond to your user's browser features, and tells you what HTML, CSS, and JavaScript features the user browser has to offer. And so the examples in our book used Modernizer version 2.71, but if you look, the latest version is version 3.2, and while the older file that came with the book has all the features of Modernizer, you can see here as I scroll it through the file pretty quick. About 1,400 lines of code. You can actually customize the newest version to your liking. If you only need storage, so I type storage here, it shows up all these things about storage. If I needed to check for local storage, session storage, and let's say web SQL database, and maybe I don't want to check for cookies. I don't want to actually check for application cache. You can see here I have 3 checked items, and it's going to be 1.92 kilobytes for the Modernizer file. And if I click build, it'll say, what do you want to do? So I'll click this one, download, and it'll download a custom JS. Let me see if I can open that file. Oh, can't. I can build a copy to clipboard. Instead, just so I can see it right away, I'll just create a new JavaScript file just to show you what it does. Modernizer custom. And this is it. It just gave this line of code. Now let me unminify that. See if it will let me. Will it not let me? Okay. Don't minify it. Build it, and let's copy that to the clipboard so we can see this. Oh, it still minified it. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Well, let's see. Unpack it. So just one line of code it did. I'm not going to save it, so I'm just discard the changes. And so this is where you can get Modernizer when you start building your own sites. Now I'm going to show today's feature, the Jui Accordion. Looks pretty simple, and guess what? This was just done. You could say, let's see, let's count the lines. Here we include a link to JS, and here's our script that's embedded, function, prizes.accordion. So we're sending it the ID, prizes, and turn on the accordion, which will make it do this. You click one of these, and it just expands it. All included in this jQuery library. If I open this up, you can see how big this library is. All these functions are defined for you, and to add those features. Now, if you want to know more about jQuery UI, their website has a whole. See, the first one is the Widget Accordion. Collapsible, set the collapse option to true. So let's take a look at that. Function, accordion, collapsible, true. So they just added this one, little bit of code, because if we look at our example, if I click it, it doesn't collapse. So let's change that. So jQuery accordion HTML. We will open our projects, jQuery accordion HTML. At this point here, let's just make sure we are matching their accordion. So let's open and close the accordion here. And I see this curly brace here. So this is technically a JavaScript object. So let's add that. Collapsible, true. I'm gonna hit save. And now when I go back here, reload the page, there, now it is collapsible. And so we just used the jQuery UI API. Now let's see, customize icons. Now look at that. So let's look at the code for that. Let's see. Accordion, icons. And then they define the icons here. Header, UI circle arrow, active header. But we haven't downloaded those, so this will not work in our code here. And what does this one do? Fill space. This one makes it a little bit, this one makes it draggable. What did they add here? Height, style, fill. So let's just add that content here. I'll put a comma, add another property, go back to here, and let me, I should be able to drag this, or no. I think I'm missing something from their code. Oh, they have this separate one to resize the accordion. If we just copy that. This is prizes. Refresh, and they have something accordion resizer. So let's see. Accordion resizer. And they have an outside div. So let's add an outside div to our prizes. Let's see how that looks. There we go. Now this is resizable and collapsible. If I comment out collapsible, refresh. Now it's resizable, but it's not collapsible. And you can get this at jQueryui.com. And if you go to download, it'll tell you what versions they have. Let me just make this bigger. So the latest one, looks like the latest one is 1.14, 1.11.4 I mean. Widgets, effects, and download. You can include a theme if you want to. And here's this link here is the API documentation. It tells you all kinds of things you can do with the UI. Let's see. Drag a hand to select a numeric value. So this is a jQuery UI slider. If you view the source, function slider. So I will copy this script tag. And put it under this one. And I will just create a div ID slider. And where should I put that? I'll put it right here. And let's take a look at our page. Reload it. And there's our slider. Now let me show you what happens if we didn't have that these few lines of code. Let me just comment all this out. Actually, let me just comment this line out. One line out. There's the div tag is technically here, but since we didn't apply anything to it, it's invisible. If I typed hello, there's the div tag you can see. Now let me uncomment this out. Hello is still there, but now there's a slider. All that just from this library and learning how to use this library, the jQuery UI library, so user interface. Okay, let's go back here. And now, okay, jQuery tabs are fun. Okay, it's loading up too fast now. So you've been to a website, there's tabs, type Amazon. Oops, no, don't go to that website. Amazon. They don't have tabs anymore. Who still has tabs? Everything's drop downs now. Sorry about that. Well, you've probably seen websites where there's tabbed. You click the tabs and you get more information. So how do they create this? If you just look at the source code, price, second price, third price, and then here you see an unordered list with 3 list items. Let's say first price, second price, third price, and the links point to tab 1, tab 2, tab 3. So these are IDs. So here we have div ID, tab 1. So if you click this one, it's pointing to this div here. And so on, to tab 1, tab 2, tab 3. And so to create those tabs, it's just this line of code right here, prices.tabs, and it's going the jQuery will look through here and look for prices. It'll find it here and convert this into tabs and change these content to match them. It will go, okay, this one is matched to this. Tab 2 is matched. Click tab 2. Tab 2 is matched to the div tab 2, and so on. Now, if we want to create more tabs in this one, close this. We could create another list item here. I'm gonna call this one tab 4, and we'll say consolation prize. I'm just gonna hit save now. And so we have this 4th tab, but there is no content associated with it. You can click it, but nothing appears there. So we can create that one. Here. Let me, so I can see the, wow, it's a lot of text. Let me just end that. Paragraph. Howdy. Let's go back here. So first prize, it says first prize, even though I have first prize content underneath tab 4. Second price still says second price. Third price says third price. The constellation price says howdy. So jQuery is taking care of all this for you. I have this as the last item in this list, but I have the content arranged in the page as the first content. Now watch. If I comment out the tabs, we'll see the unordered list, 1, 2, 3, constellation price, but we'll see the fourth item first, because that's the way it is laid out on the page. If I click that, it'll just go down to here. If I click third, it'll like this. If I click third, it'll jump down to here, technically. So that is a quick way to create tabs using the jQuery UI. Next, we will work with jQuery form. Let's take a look at the JavaScript first. Let's take a look at that in NetBeans. Form init.js. All right. So turn input to jQuery date picker. So we're going to look for an ID arrival. Var amount equals cache the price input. So the amount that's in the element with ID amount, and this is the range is the element with ID price range. Then with the price range, we're going to give a slider. So the price range input to a slider. The range. So we're going to give the range true. Minimum value is 0, maximum value is 400. And so when the page loads up, these are going to be the values, 175 and 300. So let's take a look at that page. jQuery UI form. So it's going to load up that page, and it's selected here. If I click this here, I will get this. So if I click inside the arrival date box, it's going to pop up the jQuery date picker and go like this, and then it'll populate the date here. I can change the date range here, the price range with the slider. You can put it there, that'll be the same price. So you can have this really big price range, and so that's the range, sets it up here. Now if you look at the code again, slide function, event, and UI. So whatever event occurs, we're going to update the amount. So here, this one is defined here as the ID amount dot value $sign plus the UI's values, which is this the slider, the first element picked. Then we're going to add some text and the second value. So this is the minimum and the maximum from the slider. Okay, here we go. Set the initial values of amount element. Amount dot. I wonder why this is on a different line. Amount dot val. Slider range value is 0 and 1. That's this element here. And looking at the HTML form, jQuery form, where is that? Oh, that's JavaScript and jQuery form. We see this is the all standard HTML, and we have the jQuery UI and the form init.js. We got all that functionality with this amount of code. So our next API we're going to use is Angularjs. So we look at the Angular introduction. The page looks very simple. If I type something here to our friends, hello from Angularjs. So as I was typing here, it automatically goes here. There's no separate file for this one, so we're going to take a look at that. And this is one of the most popular frameworks right now. Google APIs. This one has an external source. It's pulling AngularJS from Google CDN for Angular. So it looks like it's using Angular version 1.02, 1.0.2 I mean. And you will see these things here, these angle bars, double curly braces, name, message. This is how Angular works. So Angular works with like a model. So this here is a model. So we see ng model, so name and message. So as you type something here, AngularJS is going to know, okay, this is this one, and this one is this one. If I create another BR here, okay, there's a BR there, okay. When I type PostScript, text ng model equal PostScript. Let's save the page. We should see what happened here. Oh, it's underneath the button. Let me move this button out of the way. There we go, PostScript. So if I type J, howdy, hello, nothing happens here, even though it's part of the model, but I haven't added any reference to it. H5. Double angle bars and PostScript. Reload the page. Our message to friends. Happy holidays. PostScript. Don't forget the eggnog. It appeared over here, probably because I used an H tag. Let me change that paragraph. Where is it appearing now? Oh, there's just not enough room in this little postcard. Let me go check out this postcard class. Height. Just change the height of that. Oh, but it's doing this. Got it. Well, as you can see, that's the way to change some things. Let me just change this, get rid of the message. get rid of the message here. Oh, I know how to get it to fit. Let's see. There we go. See, everything fits on the screen now. And I should probably do this the reverse, since that's supposed to be a PostScript. Only because we're working with inside this small image. Okay, so once again, friends, happy holidays. Don't forget the eggnog. And so, how does this work? Well, you may be wondering. So, AngularJS provides two-way data binding. As you type here, AngularJS knows that this should be part of this Angular model, and its name is name, and this one is message, and this one is PostScript. So, when you have these here, these double curly braces, it means display the data here for name, message, and PostScript. So as these are updated, Angular automatically goes inside the Angular and then comes out the other side. And this AngularJS has become really popular. If you type AngularJS, you'll see they call themselves a superheroic JavaScript framework. It's made by Google, so it has become really popular over time. And 1.x series of AngularJS is the one that's very popular now. Angular is being rewritten from the ground up. If I type AngularJS IO, I believe. No, Angular IO. Version 2.0 is coming out, and it's changing everything. You can click this Learn in 5 Minutes Angular 2.0, but right now it's still in beta, so all these things could change, and it's not ready for production. There's a lot of websites that do use AngularJS. The latest version is 1.47, it looks like. And we're using 1.02, an older version. Let's see, capital 1 AngularJS. So as I was saying, capital 1 in AngularJS, you can see right here on LinkedIn, capital 1 is posted as software engineer full stack with Angular. If I click this one, let's see the description, and we'll look for Angular. Right there, they want someone at least 2 years experience with AngularJS. So big companies are using AngularJS. That one. So it's a pretty good framework. It's pretty robust in terms of what it does, what people like about it, this data binding. It's rather quick, and it has really made single web page apps a lot of fun. Okay. Now, next one is Angular Controller. Let's look at that one. Here whoops, I just closed it. That again. Chapter 9, APIs. Let me show you an Angular controller. Angular controller. So here we have ng controller basket control, and then from basket control we're going to get the description, cost, and we're going to do some math in here. Quantity times cost, and format it as currency. And this is probably something different. Here we go, ng model quantity. So let's take a look at, where is the controller? Oh, here we go. Angular controller JS. So scope, description, single ticket, cost 8, quantity 1. So we will get the basket controller, we pass in scope, and we're going to give scope all these properties. I'm going to give it a 10% fee. And here we go. Angular controller, HTML. Item, single ticket. Cost is $8. Quantity is 1. You can add more quantity. It changes the subtotal accordingly. And if we look at the Angular controller, I'm just going to add another row here. I'm going to call it fee, and I don't need an input. Actually, I put this in the wrong place. Probably it should be in the table data. Wait a minute, I think I deleted too much. Oh yeah, okay. I'm just getting rid of this input. Type fee. Hit save. And update the page. Oh, there's my fee, 10%. But it's just displaying on the page. We're not taking it into any account. So let's go back to our controller. I left this as text. We'll just do scope fee now, and then we're going to change the page. Quantity times the cost. We'll put that in parentheses and multiply that by 1 plus fee. No. There we go. Now you may be wondering, why is it 1 plus the fee num? Well, let's take a look at the fee. Fee is 0.1, means 10%. So when you are if you want just the, what is the fee? 8 times 0.0. That's what this represents, equals 80 cents, right? And there we go. We see it updating with the percentage. The fee percentage. So as I do this, you can see it's adding it in there. Go up to 10, an extra $8. So why did I do 1 plus the fee num? Well, let's take a look at the fee num. The fee num is 0.1. That's the same as saying 0.1. And if you do that multiplied by 8, the cost, what will you get? You'll get 0.8. So since currency, we'll think it's 80 cents, right? So when you do, and of course, 1 times 8 equals 8. So 1.1 times 8 will give us 8.8. That's why you do 1 plus to get the total right away. Otherwise, if you calculated these separately, you do 0.1 times this cost, and you'll get the answer here. Then you would go 0.8 plus the cost 8 to get 8.8. So that's 2 steps, and so it's better just to do it in 1 step. And let me get rid of all these. And so that's working with an Angular controller. Let's take a look. Angular external data JS and items JSON. There is this JSON data, sessions, and each session's going to have a value. So it looks like there's a couple sessions there. And whoop, there we go. And let's look at the JS file. Okay. Let's look at it with a little bit of color here. Angular external data JS. Here we go. Bam. So our controller's name is Timetable CTRL for controller. We're passing in this scope, and we're passing this HTTP object. So http.get js items.json. So it's going to grab this, and on success with that data, the scope sessions. So we're going to assign this property to scope. It's going to equal the data dot sessions. If there's any problem, write it to the console error. Then if we look at the accompanying AngularJS HTML file, we'll see we just have this few lines of code. ng repeat. This we're now going to use repeat. So it means when you see this repeat for Angular, this means like a for loop. For every session in sessions, give the session time, the session title, and the session detail. And we define that. We're going to use this controller here, timetable control. So that's where it's going to get the sessions from. And it knows it's sessions because we're passing back sessions. All right, so let's take a look at that. Looks like I closed that. Let's go here. Angular controller with external data. And there it goes. For loop, grabbed all that data and put it in here. So this all loads in from external JSON file. So we loaded in the, oh, here we go. So ng repeat. So we're going to keep creating table rows with this table data, and that, remember again, ng repeat is like a for loop. Now let's look at that external data. It comes from JS items JSON. JS items.json. Time, title, detail. So the sessions are saved here in this items.json file. If we wanted to create a new session, we could just duplicate this stuff here. Get it. Whoops, I duplicated it twice. Let's get rid of this last one. So I'll change this time to 1937. Title, make the future. JavaScript. And so you see this detail and all this text that goes way out here. It can't be on 2 lines. So it'll give an error in the JSON. So we'll just get rid of all this here. See how the next generation of JavaScript will work. I'm going to save that and go right back to here. As you can see, there's nothing at the bottom. And we have added The next one, make the future of JavaScript. See how the next version of JavaScript will work. And so that's working with Angular. And so now is a good point to talk about the other types of frameworks. So if you just type in JavaScript frameworks, probably have too many S's. You'll see a whole list of things. 20 JavaScript frameworks worth checking out. Oh, well, that's a 2011 article. Let me see something more recent. Search tools. Past year. That's cool. Just want to get a list. There you go. You see a nice big list like this. There's Angularjs by Google. A lot of people are using version 1, but version 2 is not backwards compatible with version 1. So Google and Angular are pretty much going to start over. React, this one is developed by Facebook. Then we see some other ones, Meteor, Mercury, Backbone.js. Knockout is more not like a full framework like Angular. It provides a lot of data binding. Next generation Aurelia, which is still in beta. You see Ember. So number one, everyone knows Angular, made by Google. And Facebook is powered by React, and so this one is developing pretty rapidly. And a lot of people are going to adopt this one. And then you see some Ember.js and Aurelia, which is going to support a lot of the next generation JavaScript features. Let's see, it should still say beta on their website. Browser support. They've figured out how to support IE9 and above, which is good, since a lot of things still use IE9, and you would be surprised at the number of things that support still have to use IE6. And there's a kind of interface for this Aurelia. And the other types of frameworks. And there is more frameworks than I'm showing you here. I'm just showing you some of the more popular ones you will probably come across. A lot of people find you like this one. Choosing the right JavaScript framework. They're probably going to talk about Backbone as one of the oldest. Angularjs is actually released in 2009. One of the most popular ones. And here's a graph of what people are using over time. Popularity, at least. Angularjs just exploded, probably because it was made by Google. I'm not going to make any predictions, but I have a feeling React, made by Facebook, is going to start to take off. Okay, and so that's working with very common APIs.